Have you ever wondered what the future really looks like? I'm not talking about the shiny version you see online, not the smiling robots or the cities that glow through endless nights. I'm talking about the real future, the one no company wants you to see. A world where your choices are written for you and your emotion, well, they come with a monthly subscription plan. Sounds far-fetched? Not really, because the seed of that world is already in your hand, this phone, right here. And when that seed finally grows, it won't ask if you're ready. We've uncovered truths that were never meant to be published. If you were brave enough to see what's hiding beneath the mask of sustainable progress, stay with me until the very end. What you're about to hear might just change the way you look at your own life, forever. And if our words awaken even a small part of you, share this video. Subscribe so you don't miss what comes next, because sometimes just one view, one share, is enough to change the way we see ourselves. David Tran was a name whispered with admiration in architecture circles, a visionary who could turn concrete and glass into pure art. From the outside, his life in New York looked flawless. A corner office overlooking the skyline, projects splashed across magazine covers, and clients who threw around words like genius and inspiration. But every night as the lights of the city flickered on, something inside him flickered out. Deadlines piled up like mountains. Meetings bled into midnight. Success had become his prison, and ambition, his warden. He was surrounded by people, yet felt profoundly, deeply alone. Every conversation was about goals, every silence filled with the crushing weight of expectation. Sometimes at 3 in the morning, he'd stand by the window of his glass apartment, watching the skyline shimmer like a digital mirage. And he'd wonder, when was the last time I actually felt something real? He could design incredible homes for everyone else, but he couldn't seem to design one for his own soul. One evening his phone buzzed. It was a notification. "Congratulations! You've been nominated for Architect of the Year." He stared at the message, waiting for the wave of joy to arrive. It never did. That night he closed his laptop for good, pulled out an old paper map and traced his finger across it. Somewhere far, far away, beyond the glass towers, beyond the endless noise, his eyes stopped on a name he couldn't even pronounce. A small town by a river, in a country he'd only ever seen in travel ads. He didn't know why, but something in that name whispered a single word: home. The next morning he bought a one-way ticket. No grand announcement, no carefully crafted goodbye post, just silence. And for the first time in years, he finally breathed. The plane landed at dawn. The air smelled of wet earth and an unfamiliar peace. The sound of birds replaced the blare of car horns. Here, the morning sun rose gently over rice fields, not skyscrapers. He rented a small wooden house at the edge of a village. No Wi-Fi, no schedules, no noise. At first, the quiet was unbearable. He'd wake up early, reflexively reaching for his phone, but there were no urgent emails, no missed calls, no digital heartbeat waiting for him. The silence forced him to look inward, and honestly, it was terrifying. But slowly, gradually, that silence became sacred. He started walking through narrow streets where the walls were painted a warm yellow by time itself. Children would wave at him, shouting friendly words he didn't yet understand. An old woman sold sticky rice wrapped in banana leaves. When he tried to pay her extra, she just smiled and gently shook her head. "Eat well first," she said softly. "Money can wait." He didn't know why, but that simple act of kindness made his chest ache. Each day he discovered new fragments of peace. He'd watch a fisherman patiently repairing his net by the river. He'd hear the pure, uninhibited laughter of kids chasing a paper kite. He'd listen to the soothing rhythm of rain on tin roofs. He was learning how to live again, not to achieve, but simply to exist. One morning, his landlord, an elderly man named Min, invited him for tea. The ritual was slow, deliberate, and incredibly precise. Boil, pour, wait. As Min poured, he smiled and said, "Tea is not about the leaves. It's about how gently you let them open." David watched the steam curl upward like a living thing. He'd spent years rushing, forcing, striving. But here, in the quiet space between breaths and boiling water, He felt something inside him finally begin to unfold. He had a profound realization. Maybe peace was never lost. Maybe it was just waiting for him to slow down enough to notice it. That afternoon, he sat by the river, sketching the landscape in an old notebook. A small boy appeared at his side and pointed up at the sky. "Look!" the boy exclaimed. "That cloud looks like a fish." David laughed, a genuine, hearty laugh he hadn't heard from himself in years. He started sketching again, but this time he wasn't drawing buildings. He drew the sky, the delicate curve of a leaf, the warmth of that child's smile. For the first time in a decade, his lines weren't for clients or competitions. They were for him, and every single stroke felt like a heartbeat returning home. Weeks turned into months. The city, with all its noise and pressure, faded into a distant memory. He no longer cared about being Architect of the Year. Here he was simply David, the quiet foreigner who helped repair the village fence, the one who brought fresh bread to the old lady at the market. He started waking up with the sunrise, sitting by his window and just listening to the world before it spoke. There was no rush to be better, no fear of falling behind. There was only the soft, gentle rhythm of life, unmeasured, unfiltered, and unowned. One evening, Min looked at him and said, "You look lighter now." David smiled. "Maybe that's because I finally put down everything I was never meant to carry." That night, he couldn't sleep. He walked outside under the stars. They were brighter here, closer somehow. He whispered to the wind as if confessing to an old friend, "I left the city to find something new, but what I found was the part of me I had abandoned long ago." He remembered his apartment back in New York, so silent, so perfect, so empty. He looked at the humble home behind him, with its uneven walls, flickering candles, and the sound of laughter spilling from next door, and he realized he was finally, truly home. There are journeys that take you across oceans, and then there are journeys that take you back to yourself. I used to think home was a place, something you could design, decorate, and display for the world to see. But now I know the truth. Home isn't a location, it's a state of being. It's that feeling when you no longer fear the silence. It's when you stop running from your own thoughts. It's when kindness feels like air, invisible, but absolutely essential for survival. I went searching for something and I found it. Home is not where you were born. It's where you finally stop being afraid of yourself and start truly living, surrounded by the warmth of others. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey today. If this story resonated with you, please consider subscribing and sharing it with someone who might need to hear it. Your support helps us continue to tell stories that matter. Until next time, take care.